My name is Robert Ripp. I reside at 77 Sunset Road, Massapequa, New York. Today's date is December 8th, 2016. It is 9:45 a.m. I'm currently viewing the Town of Oyster Bay's webpage, specifically the Town Board Meetings page. I am compiling evidence in regards to the town's July 26th, 2016 town meeting. I've opened up the minutes of the meeting to review, and I am now going to the link of the official version of the town's video. All right. The first discrepancy I'd like to bring to your attention is you have the option, residents have the option of viewing the action calendar portion or the public comment portion of the video. You can see here that when the town originally uploaded this video to their webpage, it was 29 minutes and 58 seconds long. When they originally uploaded the public comments, it was 34 minutes and 18 seconds long. When you open up these videos, I'm going to open up the action calendar right now. If you review the town's timer, this video is now 11 minutes and 34 seconds long. That means that the town cut 18 minutes and 24 seconds out of their original production of this video. And if I scroll back, let me open up the link again, and I'll bring you back to the public comments portion, which was originally 34 minutes and 18 seconds long.
The reason
you can notice that that public comments portion has been cut down to 28 minutes and 5 seconds. So there is evidence that the town has reaccessed the videos that they've posted for residents' review and edited them. Okay, I'm going to go back to the action calendar portion. I find this very confusing. It was originally 29 minutes, 58 seconds long. And it's now been cut down to 11:34. I'm just going to fast forward because the beginning was just dead space. You can see the board members just coming out now.
Here. Councilman Pinto? Here. Councilwoman Lesia?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Councilwoman Johnson?
Here.
Good morning, Jim. All right.
Top of the morning to you, James.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if everyone would please rise and join in the Pledge of Allegiance to our...
Okay, so we have the Pledge of Allegiance, and then they're going to call a hearing, all right?
Thank you, Anthony. All right, we'll begin with the call of our hearing calendar. Mr. Altadonna.
Okay, so they call the hearing calendar.
You're hearing P8-16 to consider the application of Core Improvement Corp., fee owner, and K&D Venture Inc., DBA, C&B Archery Tenant for the special use permit.
Okay, now this gentleman comes up. I'm just going to fast forward because he's up there for a little while. You can see he's still up there.
Of Nassau, State of New York, and describe...
I'm going to fast forward just a little bit more. And we'll watch this now to the end of the town's version of this video.
6, Block Q, Lot 235 on the Nassau County Land and Tax Map. 4 Improvement Corp. is the owner of the premises. K&K Ventures Incorporated is the operator of the facility.
Okay, so the video ends there. Now, when I go to the public comment portion, which is the next portion of the video.
The reason for that's why we're not closing the meeting, we're adjourning the meeting. We're only continuing until the close of the public comment period. Bob Fryer, public comment.
Okay, so now they call public comments. So if you go to the action calendar, they eliminated the whole video version of the action calendar. Right? The hearing ends. These are the transcripts now, the minutes, the official minutes for the July 26th town meeting, what we're just watching, okay? You can read it, it ends, and now you're supposed to have the action calendar. Right? This is official. Now, in my version, I can tell you that, once again, this court reporter has falsely entered information statements into the record as if James Altadonna, the town clerk, is reading the information into the record. So, if you were to view my video of this, okay, you'll see that he didn't read any of this in transfer of funds. Resolution number TF13. He doesn't read all, I've already pointed out, he doesn't read all this resolution information into the record. Right? It's all, he's claiming he's read it all into the record. As a matter of fact, there's no, okay, hang on 1 second, let's just verify this. Okay, so now they talk about this one resolution on the motion, 413-216. I believe that's what they're speaking about. It's the Indian Independence Day Parade. I don't know if you can follow along with this. I'm just, because there's no town video of it, I'm just scrolling through it. I'll have to check this against my own video to tell you the truth of the meeting. So according to the town's version, they went to executive session, and now according to the town's version, within the transcripts, no residents spoke about any resolutions on July 26, 2016. All right? If you read the town's transcripts, there's nothing about any resident questioning or speaking about any resolution on July 26, 2016. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to the public comment portion. Sorry, I was doing something else at the same time. We're going to move on to the public comment portion of the same July 26, 2016 meeting, and you could watch how the town edited this video. Okay, originally it was 34:18.
The reason for that's why we're not closing the meeting, we're adjourning the meeting. We're only continuing until the close of the public comment period. Bob Fryer, public comment.
The plans that you're putting together
That was the first cut right there.
that started 3 months ago, actually 3 months ago today, when you said there was a task force, and I know 2 weeks ago you said there really is no task force. It's kind of like suggestions from a bunch of people internally.
That's not what I said, but go ahead. You go.
Okay. I'm just looking at today's paper, and I know originally you said Councilman Pinto was heading that up, but he is quoted in today's paper saying, Pinto said that he's met with the committee 3 or 4 times, but he's generally been excluded. I'm curious, why is that?
Well, Councilman,
Chop right there.
There is a task force that has long since morphed into something much more. I've been getting helpful suggestions from many sources. I'll, meaning me, be proposing a comprehensive plan to the town board prior to Labor Day, which will address all of the material financial issues the town is facing. So I'm not sure where you're getting there is no task force or...
Okay, well, I'm asking...
You gotta let me finish talking.
Sure, go right ahead.
That there is no task force and nothing is happening. I think, Bob, you'll have to agree that rather, we're going to fix the problem.
Chop right there.
I don't know that anyone had a functioning crystal ball which could tell us where it's going to go. And I've said repeatedly on the public record to the media, and I'm saying it again today, I said it as late as yesterday, it did morph into something more than just, 5 or 7 or 9 people, meeting somewhere. Everybody from all levels of the town, residents, town employees, the labor union, the town board, obviously, the financial people, even some outside financial people, have reached out with ways.
That was a big chop right there.
The sensible way to do this is that the problems are going to be addressed in the upcoming budget. That's really where the financial plan will present itself, materially speaking. So the town supervisor goes first and proposes what is called the preliminary budget. Proposes it to the town board, the tentative budget, proposes it to the town board, who then adopts it as the preliminary, and it goes to a public hearing. Now, we're not going to wait till the budget cycle formally begins. I think within the next 30 days, I'm thinking possibly at the next town board meeting, I, the town supervisor, will come forward with the comprehensive plan, which will be incorporated in, accurate about this? Okay, because that's where it ultimately manifests itself. So really,
I'm going to leave it up to yourself
nobody had a
to
crystal ball.
identify the edits.
Nobody can read the future. We did our best that we could.
I can tell you, while I speak, I counted 28.
The gravity of the problem, and that we would attack it ferociously, and we have, and we're in the process of doing that. And before Labor Day, and I think much before Labor Day, I'll be coming forward with the plan presented to the public, to the town board, and everybody will propose. As far as Councilman Pinto is concerned, I can't answer for him. He'll have to do that.
Okay. Do you have any comment on your quote in the paper? Or?
Yeah, at the last board meeting, I was asked questions about this, and basically I'm going to say the same thing. There's been multiple meetings that I know about. I've been involved with the committee, has
That was a cut.
on ideas and ways we could fix the current problem.
Okay. In the last bond that was raised, in the prospectus on Emma, the town has developed a specific plan to bring its budget into structural balance in 2017 and eliminate all accumulated deficit by 2018. So it's indicating in what was disclosed to the investor community that there is a plan in place. But is that not the case yet?
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it except to say that when you present a plan, you want the entire plan, and it's going to work, and we won't have some of the problems we had in the past, like in 2012 when I admittedly shot and missed. I don't want to shoot and miss again. So yeah, there is a plan in place. The devil is always in the details, but the details are very close to being worked out. And as I said, within short order, you'll hear the plan.
Okay. I know there's been mention about health insurance, and I know you're renegotiating working on negotiating a new union contract, and
You finished it.
I mean, most of that was him, the supervisor speaking.
But you asked, Bob, you asked. You asked me questions, I gave you the answers.
I know, but that doesn't count towards my time when you're talking, right?
Yeah, well, it does, but go ahead, I'm letting you go ahead.
Okay, I was wondering on the health insurance, if the town employees are going to do, if they need to them to contribute to their health insurance in the future in a new contract, would this board, as leaders of the town, do the same thing? Contribute to, I know you all, I think with the exception of Councilman Muscarella, take the health insurance, which is 100 at the union, if they're being proposed that, would this town do the same to show that we're not asking you to do anything that we wouldn't do ourselves?
I don't even think that's a question, the answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
Just so you know, every labor concession that's been made in the past, we've been a part of as well. The lags, everything, right?
I was actually going to say something further. When the plan comes forward, I think that you will see that the town board members are not asking anybody to do what they're not doing as well.
Okay. And then just as far as the current and fully current with their rent payments and everything is up to date and they've been paying the town on time?
Well, without, I hope I don't violate, I don't know how to violate, I hope I don't violate the rules of the executive session. In fact, I think it might have been the only topic that I think back, that we discussed in executive session is the situation with
The lawsuit.
the Woodlands, Tobay, the lawsuit. So I'm going to withhold any comment at the moment because we're going to go back into executive session as more information becomes available to us. I don't want to comment now, especially with the lawsuit pending.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob. Robert Ripp. Rob?
Great. Newsday reports that the town of Oyster Bay has filed court documents alleging that signatures on loan guarantee documents purported to be those of Town Supervisor John Vendetto and Parks Commissioner Frank Nocerino were forgeries. I'd like to know what law enforcement agency did you report these crimes to in investigation into the allegations of the forgery? I'd also like to bring your attention to this piece of property. It's located at 30 Underhill Avenue, and I'd like to share I was actually, I attended...
What town, please?
Oyster Bay, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. I attended
The hamlet of Oyster Bay? Yeah, I think
I just have the town of Oyster Bay. After I'm done speaking, I give you the section, block, and lot number.
Oh.
Excuse me?
Oh.
Oh, okay. I'd like to share with you, I attended the almost sentencing of former Commissioner Polito to Judge Wexler regarding this incident with 30 Underhill. Your Honor, thank you again for your interest in what's rotten in the town of Oyster Bay. I'm writing to bring to your attention the lopsided real estate transaction between the town of Oyster Bay and Elia Liza, which took place approximately May 10, 2006, in which the town of Oyster Bay purchased a Liza private residence located at 30 Underhill Avenue, Oyster Bay, New York, 11771. Immediately after the purchase, the town demolished the home on the property, leaving the land vacant and unused for the last 10 years. It appears from the Nassau County documents I've attached that the town of Oyster Bay paid $3,375,000 for a private property, $150,000. According to the recent fair market value provided by Nassau County, which is $1,228,800, if the town sold the property today, information as I believe reasonable suspicion exists that former TOB Commissioner of Planning and Development, Frederick Ippolito, may have had an interest in negotiating this obviously pro-Liza transaction. I will be addressing this issue with the town of Oyster Bay Supervisor John Vendetto and the town board at the July 26 town hall meeting. I will also be submitting a Freedom of Information request at that time seeking documents that will shed additional light on this transaction and those involved. I do not anticipate receiving any cooperation from Supervisor Vendetto or the town board in regards to this issue, certainly not prior to Mr. Ippolito's August 23, 2016 sentencing. I hope this information assists you in determining the proper sentencing for Mr. This is in regards to basically all the documents that might be available in relation to the town's purchase of this property. I also have a second FOIL request that's unrelated to this, but if I have time, I'll get into it. At the sentencing, present in support of former Commissioner Frederick Ippolito, who is now a convicted felon, were Frank and John Antetomaso. They assisted the commissioner with his wheelchair. They drove him there. They drove him home. Frankly, I do not believe that is in the best interest of the town. Frank Antetomaso is a former deputy commissioner in the town, and he's a partner in a company that does major consulting work with the town. It's my personal belief that you should have better discretion than to show up at a function like this in support of a felon. John Antetomaso is an officer of the town now, not an officer, but an employee of the town. He was in charge of the Baycom felon who's being, at his sentencing, which was related to activities that had to do with his acknowledgement and his involvement with the Liza Corporation and the town of Oyster Bay at the same time. I'd also like to point out, I got a chance to review the 135 Stillwater building file. When I was in the office, I noticed that Diana Acqua's daughter is working in the office. I don't know whether she's a town employee or a consultant with the town, but I believe that is in direct violation of the new ethics code that you proposed, that any town employee be supervised by a family member. It's totally inappropriate in my opinion. I'd like to know on the 135 Stillwater issue.
Yes,
and I'm sorry,
I don't want to take up any of your time, but
Why don't we let him finish, don't do it.
Mr. Lawrence is here for that specific purpose.
Okay, well, let Rob respond.
When you're ready.
We're ready now. All right, Rob,
Can I just say one thing, Superman?
go ahead.
I just asked Mr.
I was in the middle of talking,
Lawrence
go ahead.
I asked Mr. Marks during the week to
heard you.
assist with the
We heard you.
review that I was trying to undertake.
We heard you. We're gonna
Ask
get-
more information than I have.
Right.
available.
We're gonna get, I have 4 topics that Rob mentioned. I'll just quickly address, well, I guess 3 of them as best I can, and then we'll let Stephen address. Oh, you said you sent a letter to the federal court? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right, I'm not gonna ask for.
I'm sorry, are we going to go in order that I asked, or your claims of forgeries of your signatures?
Okay, yes, you're right. The only thing I'm going to say at this point is that I assure you, Commissioner, I won't speak on behalf of Commissioner Nasarino, but I assure you that my signature was forged. That much I'll tell you. Anything after that, as far as law enforcement, I'd rather not comment on.
I'm sorry, sir. This is...
Oh, wait, no, you're done. I'm answering your question to not be doing with regard to that topic, except to tell you that my signature was forged. As far as 30 Underhill is concerned, I believe this is what we called the Mill Pond Overlook property. And as I recall, the Lizza family, whatever aspect of the Lizza family it was, because they have a multitude of personalities, but my recollection is they either made, or I don't know if an application was formally made or not, but they were going to make, or they did in fact make, an application to rezone the property to build. There was a very, very loud, and I do mean loud, hue and cry from the residents of the Hamlets of the Bay, kind of spearheaded the charge in very, very significant opposition against the application. And working together with Friends of the Bay, the community generally, and the owners of the property, whatever the Lizza entity was, it was, I guess, worked out is the right word, to the satisfaction of the community, that the town step up, and I think using C-Fund money, but am I right? It's about C-Fund money. And you could add to my answer, I'm doing property. And it was done with appraisals that were taken of the property at the time, because we can't purchase the property until an independent appraiser tells us the actual value. As far as, so that was all done and the property was purchased. As far as the value of the property and the fair market value of property, I don't know where those numbers came from, but...
Attention is what I'm asking for in my foil, so when you supply that, then I'll get all the answers I'm seeking.
Okay, very good. Then I'll stop right there. I'm looking at John Ellsworth and Frank Scalera, because I know you fellows were involved in the transaction.
There's a big cut right there.
Then, moving on to, listen, I'll convey to...
Listen, watch this one, it's a big
I mean,
cut.
as a matter of courtesy, I'll convey to the Anti-Tomasos your comments. Beyond that, I don't think I have the power to direct them what to do or not to do. As far as the new code goes into effect,
There you go, right there.
whatever needs to be done to make that adjustment will be made. And then I'll turn it over to Steve Marks for whatever you can add on one. Still one.
The Councilman Casciano brought it to my attention. I actually went down there myself to physically look at it because I had gotten some conflicting reports as to what was there, what was not there. Tim Zyke, unfortunately, is not here today. Deputy Commissioner, I'm going to sit with him later in the week. We're going to determine what is necessary to see what that property, whatever's there is done properly, or if it...
What is the
cut right
underlying underlying problem with Stillwater? Well, I thought this began, I thought it was addressed last time. Maybe my recollection is faulty. for certain work
Another cut.
that needed to be done under the contract to a private residence, property, or whatever needed to be done in fulfillment of the contract. The resident didn't want it done by the contractor, or the contractor was not equipped to do it, and what happened was there was a displacement of the money. Instead of paying the contractor for the value of the work, the resident went and got the work done however they did it. We need DPW people here to tell us this, and not the underlying promise.
Another chop.
Okay. Then we have a
May I-
second.
may I
You
jump
may,
in?
you may in a moment. Then we have a second problem. The second problem is that there's some concern, actually we have two other problems. The second problem is that the home owned by the resident in question may or may not be up to snuff, so to speak, with the permitting process and what's required by the Department of Planning and Development. That's the second issue.
Correct.
Okay. And then there's a third issue about a barrier of some kind, a wall or a barrier that...
wall.
Okay. Where are we on the three issues?
Well, again, and then whatever steps necessary to make it proper.
That was chopped too.
We certainly will, but I want to get down there myself, actually look at it, because I've heard it's a wall, I heard it's a planter, I've heard it's mounds, I've heard it's this, it's that, but effectively, I went down there, it looks like a wall to me, I don't know if it would be defined as such, but I'm comfortable that it is a wall.
All right, but on all three issues, Mr. Rip...
Yeah, I can clear a lot up.
Please. I'm only issue finding. I'm not issue resolving. I'm trying to understand what the issues are. The first issue is the issue with the contractor and the displacement, I'll call it, of the $32,000. Then we have the issue of whether or not the home is in compliance with our building code. And then a third issue, something about a wall that we need to now learn about. Those are the three issues, okay? Have any of them been resolved yet? And I'll stop there, and Councilman, go ahead, you say whatever you like.
There was a question after the last hearing about the reimbursement that was due the homeowner and the amount of the reimbursement. So I looked at the file, and the people in Department of Public Works were very helpful in providing the information, but we couldn't ascertain the exact reimbursement amount. So it brought up a question to the controller's office, and I spoke to Mr. McAvoy, asked Mr. McAvoy to please, before we justified payment, and it was understandable to whomever was inquiries about the house itself. I believe Mr. Ripp asked to see the file from the building department, asked that it be made available.
Plan Aqua,
That's
that
it.
P&D didn't have anything to do with this work, that it all went through highway. That's why there were no records of it. So I did a FOIL request. If you're ready to authorize $32,000 in payment to this gentleman, and the town has no records of any plans of what he proposed to do, no records of anything at all. And quite frankly, this is a proposed public works project for a street. There was no work being done on
Want to happen. We're doing our best to answer your question.
Okay, I agree.
And your side of the story, I think, is in. That's your side of the story is in. We need to find out now
Well, I wanna-
what the town side of the story is. Again, Councilman, maybe you can help us some more.
At that point in time, I was glad you got access to the file. You let me know you got access to the file. So, just Mr. Zeig, and I had them involved in what they could find out regarding the file. I kind of left off with my inquiries from Department of Public Works at that time, and the payment was on hold, and we're still waiting to see that end result. I'm not sure we have that end result yet. That I'm asking the same question, if that payment has thus been further justified, and it's easily to ascertain the amount that's due.
My arms around it,
Yes.
which is what I attempted to do, and I did yesterday, and is going to speak with Tim, he's out today, and like I said before, whatever issues have arisen, specifically from a P&D point of view, we will look at, we'll find out what needs to be corrected, if anything needs to be corrected, and take the appropriate measures.
And you'll solve the mystery of the wall.
Yes, sir, that's what
I'm sorry, go ahead.
attempted to do.
Yes, and I just would like to know at some point what will be the end result with the payment being held up, because we still need to resolve that.
Well, I don't know all of the facts and circumstances, but I think what we need to confirm is through DPW, the fact that we paid X amount of dollars less to the contractor and gave that X amount of dollars to the homeowner to do Y amount of work. And as long as those three things fit, then it sounds like the resident's entitled to the money that he spent to do the work that the contractor would otherwise have done. As far as the P&D is concerned, that should be a fairly simple problem. I don't know if the problems are related necessarily, but it would be nice to know he's in compliance since we have actual, we've been put on notice that he may not be, so we should find out if he is, and if he's not, he has to do what needs to be done to bring him into compliance. On the wall, you're on your own. I don't even know. I don't know, is that wall on, whose property is it on, who built it, how long has it been there? Okay.
Well, I think part of the issue is gonna be that they want to tie in the number.
No, the
And
cut-
part two is, depending on what the homeowners got cooking with the building department, is it wrong to ask the homeowner if to look at that as well? So if there's issues
Oh,
with
you mean
non-compliance,
linking it to
then why are we writing anybody a check?
Okay, well, I'm just trying to, I'll put my lawyer's hat on. I don't know the answer to this
I
question.
think we have to look at the whole picture is what I'm
No, we
saying.
do have to look at the whole picture. I'm putting my lawyer's hat on for a moment. I don't know if you can, on the one, let's assume we find out the homeowner is entitled to X amount of dollars. Would it be our position then, and lawfully could we sustain it, that even though you spent this money, and we paid a contractor $32,000 less for items of work that contractor.
How do you know that?
So there may need.
How do we know
to be-
that?
Hold on, there may need to be adjustments there as well, depending on the resolution with the homeowner. Because we don't want to forgive more than, okay, all right. Okay, Rob, thank you very
I'm
much.
sorry, but just in closing, there's one thing. Listen, your ambiguous answer to the law enforcement question, I can't accept that. You've said in the past, if there are possible crimes being committed that you're in knowledge of in town of Oyster Bay, they have to be reported to the proper authorities. So if you feel, and Mr. Nocerino feels, that you're a victim of the crime of forgery.
In my case, the signature was a forgery. Commissioner Nasarino, I believe you feel strongly that your signature was a forgery.
Absolutely, sir. It was voiced.
Okay, and that's,
It's for law enforcement.
and that, Robert,
It's a legitimate question, sir.
it's a legitimate question, and my answer is legitimate as well.
Thank you.
We're not going to go beyond that and infringe upon
Thank you very much.
law enforcement. Thank you.
Thanks, have a good week.
Thanks, Rob, you too. Glenn Visconti, do I have it right, Glenn? I'm sorry.
All right, I'm going to be pausing the video now. I don't know what Glenn spoke about. If you're interested, you could watch it on the town's website. It's pretty clear to me that, from the evidence that I see, the town put videos up. They deleted a lot of material. They put them up, they took them back down, they edited them, they put them back up with less than what they originally did.